I'm going to show you how to do this a little bit differently. You want to have the y's on one side, and you want to have the numbers without variables on the other side. So what you want to do here, you want to bring the 3y to this side, and you want to bring the -2 to this side. I know they teach you add 2 to both sides and then minus 3y both sides, but what I'm going to show you is that you could do this simultaneously very quick. So when you're moving the 3y to this side, what you do, you always change the sign. If you move something to the other side of the equal sign, if it's positive in the front, you subtract it. If it's minus here, then you add it. So look at this. So simultaneously, I'm going to go 5y minus 3y. I brought the 3y to this side. I change it to minus, equals the 4 is still on the right hand side of the equal sign. I'm going to bring the -2 to the side, changes to plus. Eventually, that's what you should be doing. You know, all this, adding 2 to both sides, minusing 3y from both sides. Maybe to understand it, you could start like this, but eventually you should be able to start moving things a bit faster. So here, what we're going to get, 2y equals 6. Now divide both sides by 2. I get y equals 3. And the next question is 4x minus 3. 4 in front of that in brackets equals -2. So the first thing you need to do here is the property of this distribution is you distribute the 4 into here, into the x and the -3. So you have 4x minus 12 equals -2. Now, again, I need to move that -12 to the other side. As I said, just move it to the other side, changes, becomes plus instead of minus. And therefore, now we have 4x equals -2 plus 12 gives me 10. Divide both sides by 4. I get x, because this cancels, equals 10 over 4 reduces to 5 over 2, because 2 goes into 4 twice and goes into 10 5 times. Next. So here is fractional coefficients. So what I teach my students is that you don't have to follow one rule. And what works best for me with these questions right here is to get rid of the fractions right away. So to get rid of the fractions, I look for what's the common denominator between the 4 and the 6. Now 4 doesn't go into the 6, but 6, the multiples of 6 are 12. Does the first thing, does 12 go into 4? Yes. So now it means I have to multiply everything by 12. So I'm not doing common denominator, just I'm looking at the least common denominator, because I want to multiply all of this equation by 12. Why am I doing that? I'm doing this because I want to get rid of fractions. I want to get rid of the fractions right away. I don't want them to interfere in what I'm doing. But now, how do I multiply 12 into here and inside here and there and inside here? Well, you don't have to multiply it inside here. All you need to do is just multiply the 12 to the 3/4, and that is the same as multiplying it to the whole side in here. So 12 times 3/4. Now, how do you multiply 12 times 3/4? This is a question that I always ask my students to do, and they have a hard time doing it without writing things down. Let me tell you something here. Okay, when you multiply a whole number times a fraction, all you need to do, look at this whole number divided by the bottom of the fraction. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that's what you need to multiply to the top. The 3 that you got to multiply to the 3, and here you get 9. Now the 4 is gone. You still have your 2x minus 3 right there. Now, again, the 12 times, you multiply it into the 5/6. Now, again, when you multiply a whole number times a fraction, all you need to do, just go 12 divided by this 6. It gives you 2. Then you multiply the 2 into the 5, you get 10. And you have the -2 minus 4x. This gets rid of the fractions altogether for you. Remember this, because this you'll be doing it in grade 10 and grade 12, except not with small equations like this, with big equations. If you learn it now, you'll be surprised how much this could help you in the future. So there you go. So we're going to continue now. So distribute the 9 into here, into there. You're going to get 18x minus 27 equals -20, distribution again, minus 40x. Now, again, I want to bring everything that has an x to one side and everything that doesn't have an x to the other side. So that means I'm going to bring this minus 40 to the left side. So I'm going to go 18x plus 40x. When you move things to the other side, you change the sign, equals, you still have the -20 on the right side of the equal sign. Moving the -27 becomes plus 27. as I said, I do it simultaneously. I am over that, add both to both sides, do to the sides. You could do it this way. Trust me on that. You could move things so smoothly and so fast. It's to save you a lot of time. So now we have 58x equals 7. Divide both sides by 58, and x, you cannot reduce that. So x equals 7 over 58 for this. Now here's another one with fractional coefficients. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to do the same thing. Find out what the common denominator is, multiply everything by the common denominator. The common denominator is 8, so I'm going to multiply everything by 8. Now see here, if we're looking at how many terms we have one term here and one term there. This, we call this as one term, and this is a one term. Here, however, you have two terms. See that plus sign here divides this part on the left side into two terms. So when we multiply the 8 inside, what we're doing, we have to multiply the 8 first to the 3. So when you multiply the 8 to the 3, you get 24 plus 8 times 1/4, that's 8 divided by 4, which is 2 times 1 is 2 brackets 5x plus 3. Multiply the 8 into the 3 eighths. 8 divided by 8 is 1. So 1 times 3 is 3. X minus 4. Now you see how simple this looks compared to this. I know a lot of students, when they see fractions, they kind of freeze and they think, oh my God, but chill, everything is okay now. All right. 24, my bracket there, plus distribute, you get 10x. When you distribute, make sure you distribute them both. Plus 6 equals, distribute again, 3x minus 12. Now, even though we have a lot of things, but we're still going to do the same thing. Bring everything that has an x to the left side and everything that has no x to the right side. Now, you could do this simultaneously in one step. So you leave the 10x on the left side of the equal sign. Bring the 3x to this side. You're going to change sign, so we're going to become minus 3x equals. You keep the negative 12 on the right side. You're going to bring the 24 and the 6 to the right side. We know they have to change signs, so minus 24 minus 6. Now 10x minus 3x is 7x. Negative 24 minus 6 is negative 30 minus 42. So now divide both sides by 7 by 7. X equals negative 6. You know what? This is the easiest way of getting rid of fractions really fast and making your questions look a lot simpler than what they originally look like in the question. So we finish with these two. I'm going to do a couple more. So here is another two questions. Now the first one here, I'm just going to distribute the negative 9 into the x and the plus 3. So negative 9x minus 27. I still have the minus 9x there, equals negative 3x. Now you have a negative 1 there, so I'm going to distribute the negative 1 into both. So that gives me negative 3. Negative 1 times negative x is plus x, the common mistake that students make. They never change the sign of this. They keep it negative, and that would be wrong because you have a negative outside of the brackets. This is a sign changer. And then plus 8. Maybe here it's better to simplify on both sides, the left side and the right side. So negative 9 minus 9, these are like terms right here. So that's minus 18x. You still have the minus 27 equals, these are like terms, and these are like terms right here. So negative 3x plus x is negative 2x. Negative 3 plus 8 is plus 5. Now again, I'm going to bring all the x's to one side and I bring the numbers to the other side with the numbers that we don't have x's with them. So negative 18x stays on the left side. You bring the negative 2x to the left side, it becomes plus 2x equals, I still have the 5 on the right hand side. I'm bringing the negative 27 to the right side, and it becomes plus because it's minus on the left side. So when it goes to the right side, it becomes plus. Now simultaneously we did that. Negative 18x plus 2x is negative 16x equals 5 plus 27 is 32. Now divide both sides by negative 16 by negative 16. You get x equals negative 2. Now this one here, bit easier. So 6w minus 12, distribute the 6 in both, the w and minus 2, the distribution property, equals 3w. Now plus 2 has to be distributed in both, plus 2w. plus 2. Let's collect like terms first. 6w minus 12 equals 3w plus 5w. That's 3w plus 2w. That's 5w plus 2. Now I'm going to bring the w's to this side. Numbers without any variables to the right side. So 6w minus 5w, change the sign. We have the 2 still on the right side. Bring the negative 12 to the other side, becomes plus 12. Now w equals 24. Yeah. Also, you could always go and double check that the answer works, just in case you made a mistake. And therefore, you plug in the w, which is the 24 for all the w's in here, and see if the left side equals the right side. So 6 times 24 minus 2 equals 3 times 24 plus 2 times 24 plus 1. So there we go. Let's see if the left side equals the right side. This becomes 6 times 22. And this 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2, so that's 72. Plus that's 25 in there times 2 is 50. Now this 6 times 22, you get 12. 6 times 132 equals here. Hold on a second. Therefore, 6w minus 5w gives you w, 1w. So now 6w minus 5w will give you 1w equals 2 plus 12 is 14. Now, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to double check if my answer works. So now just plug in the 14 for all the w's here. So we're going to get 6, 14 minus 2 equals 3 times 14. Plus 2 times 14 plus 1. Now 14 minus 2 is 12. 6 times 12 will be 72 equals 3 times 14. That's 3 times 42 plus, that's 15. 14 plus 1 is 15. 15 plus 2. 15 times 2 is 30. Now 72 on the left side, and 42 plus 30 is 72. It works, and it's checked. So this is how you always check your answer. You remember when I got 24, somehow I said 2 plus 12 is 24. When I tested it, it didn't, the left side wouldn't equal the right side. So you made a mistake. So I went back, looked at it. I know it's 14, the answer. So now when I plug the 14 in, it checked the left side equals the right side. One more, I'm going to do one more question, involves inequalities with the algebra. So one more. So there we go, 7 brackets 3 minus 2x is less than or equal to negative 2 times 7 plus 2x. They want you to solve this inequality and then graph it on a number line. So the same thing, you treat this as if it was an equal sign. So when you move things around and stuff, you just think of this as an equal sign. So the distributive property, so I'm going to go 7 times 3 is 21 minus 14x is less than or equal to negative 14 minus 4x, distributive property. Now I'm going to move the negative 4x to this side. I'm going to move the 21 to this side. So I keep the negative 14x on the left side of the inequality sign, moving the negative 4x to the right, the left side, it becomes plus 4x. Simultaneously, again, I do things simultaneously. Negative 14, move the 21 to this side, becomes minus 21 because it was positive here. So now negative 10x is less than or equal. That gives me 5. 35, negative 35. So now divide both sides by negative 10. And here is the trick, or here's the catch. Anytime you're solving for x, if you end up dividing by a negative number, this inequality sign here, it changes direction. So it flips, it becomes like this. So instead of facing this way, now it faces that way. So now I get x. This reduces to a positive answer. 5 goes into 35 7 times, and 5 goes into 10 twice. This is the answer. If you want to draw this on a number line, here's your number line. This is the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, positive, negative, This is your 0 right here. Okay, 7 over 2 is about 3.5. So 1, 2, 3, 3.5 is somewhere here. So what you do, you put a dot there. It's closed circle, not an open circle. If there was no equal sign with an equality sign, you'll do this instead. But since there's an equal sign, you have your closed circle right there, right there, and then it's greater than or equal to 7 over 2. So greater than is shading this way. So that's your solution right here.